familiar beam of light shines down. The beam of light descends onto a stage. Lightning flashes to reveal Prince Charming riding his valiant steed, Chauncey. I have to sneeze. I just cough sneezed. Ow. Ow. I gotta sneeze again. Okay, whatever. Chauncey. Across the open plains, the wind blows back his golden mane. Onward, Chauncey. I don't know how to pronounce that. To the highest room of the tallest tower, where my princess awaits rescue from her handsome Prince Charming. Lightning cracks, thunders, booms. Charming straddles a wooden hobby horse and gallops in place. A stagehand uses a bellow to blow air into Prince Charming's face. Another stagehand turns to crank that creates a moving background. In the orchestra, a man uses coconuts to create the sound effects of a galloping horse. Two more stagehands backstage create the sheep sound effect of thunder and lightning. A crudely constructed castle tower sits in front of a cheaply painted backdrop. The fairy tale creatures are sitting at the table in the audience. This is the worst. This is worse than love letters. I hate dinner theater. Me too. Pinocchio's nose grows as he is caught in the lie. Prince Charming rides to the base of the tower. Whoa there, Chauncey. He dismounts and sets his hobby horse on the ground. He strikes a dramatic pose. A princess leans from the tower window. Hank, the brave Prince Charming, approacheth. Prince Charming puffs his chest out. Shrek the Third, final screening, script 2. Fear not, fair maiden. I shall slay the monster that guards you and take my rightful place as king. An old couple at a table look confused. What did she say? Prince Charming glares as the bored audience largely ignores him. A man in a bad ogre costume comes onto stage. Grr! The crowd erupts into applause. The fairy tale creatures cheer. Woohoo! Yay, a Shrek! At first, Prince Charming is put off by the cheers for the Shrek-like beast. He pulls his sword and confronts the monster. At first, Prince Charming is put off by the cheers for the Shrek-like beast. He pulls his sword and confronts the monster. Prepare, foul beast, to enter into a world of pain which you are not familiar. He cuts off a waiter, enters with a birthday cake. Happy birthday to the... Do you mind? Prince Charming hops out of the way when a chair lands on stage. It slides past him and bumps into the tower facade. Do you mind? Booing. Shrek the Third, final screening, script 3. The audience laughs. Prince Charming glares at them and then tries to recover. He points his sword at the monster again. The tower facade starts to topple. Prepare, foul beast. Prince Charming looks over his shoulder and sees the facade falling. He cringes. The screenery slams against the stage, but Prince Charming is unharmed, perfectly framed in the princess' window. The crowd laughs at the embarrassed Prince Charming. He shakes his mangled sword at the audience. Someday you'll be sorry. We already are. They laugh again. Prince Charming throws down his sword, picks up his hobby horse, and exits. Grr! The song and the laughter follow Prince Charming backstage. Backstage dressing. Moments later, Prince Charming walks through a tunnel backstage that leads to a door. The door has a star with the name written on it. He opens it. Prince Charming sits at his broken vanity and sobs. His makeshift dressing room is in an alley way next to the theater. Horses whine as a carriage passes by. The castle far, far away can be seen on the hill in the background. Prince Charming breaks down and cries. He looks up and sees a picture of the fairy godmother taped to the vanity. Don't stop believing. Mommy's little angel is written on the picture. Is this the actual movie? I have no way of telling. I've never actually watched Shrek 3. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, Mommy. He weeps again and then looks at the picture. A determined change grows across his face. Oh, you're right. I can't let this happen. I can't. Prince Charming looks at the castle on the hill. His expression hardens. He stands and faces the castle. He holds his chin up high. I am the rightful king of far, far away, and I promise you this, mother. I will restore dignity to my throne. A big gust of wind blows a newspaper page across his face. He peels it off and looks at the headline. His eyes tense and narrow. At this time, no one will stand in my way. In the newspaper is a picture of Shrek and Fiona waving to a crowd. Prince Charming crumples up the newspaper in his fist. The camera booms down far from the far, far away sign. The sun rises and the birds sing. The sun shines through a bedroom window as the camera pans over Shrek and Fiona waking up. Good morning. Good morning. Aw, morning breath. Shrek the third, final screen trip. Shrek breathes and smiles. You know, isn't it wonderful? The bedroom doors fly open and Donkey and the Dronkies rush in. The Dronkies head right for Shrek and Fiona. Shrek covers beneath the bedclothes. Good morning. Good morning. Shrek sinks further into the blanket, says the Dronkies. I can't. I'm stupid, I don't know what that word means. Licks him. Fiona is amused. Donkey starts to sing good morning from the singing in the rain as he enters the room. The sun is shining through. Good morning, to you and you and you. The Dronkies fly out of the room, knocking down everything in their path. Oh, they grow up so fast. Shrek, greatly annoyed, lifts his hand and snuffs out a little fire on the bed left behind by the Dronkies. Not fast enough. Puss leaps onto the bed. Okay, you have a very full day filling in for the king and queen. There are several functions that require your attendance, sir. I'm gonna go grab a water. I will be right back. I have returned, gamers. Great, let's get started. Shrek immediately pulls the covers up over his head and starts to snore. Come on, lazy bones, time to get moving. Donkey yanks the sheets off of Shrek and Fiona. He is surprised to see Shrek's bare legs. You know you really need to get yourself a pair of jammies, Shrek sighs. The camera pans down from a stained glass window. The song Royal Pain by the Elves plays in the background as the title Shrek the Third is superimposed. A large crowd has gathered to watch the knighting. Shrek walks down the aisle of church. Shrek walks up to the knight, who seems a bit nervous. Shrek takes a sword from Puss, but he doesn't have any idea what he is supposed to do with it. Shrek looks at Puss, who indicates how to knight a person with his own sword. Shrek starts to knight the knight. I knight thee. Shrek accidentally stabs the knight. The crowd, Fiona, Puss, and Donkey looked up, shocked. Shrek the Third, final screening. Oh. Shrek and Fiona officiate at a boat. I'm stupid. I'm sorry. I can't read. For the Royal Navy. Shrek is holding a bottle of champagne. He leans in on the boat, accidentally pushing it down the ramp. Shrek throws the bottle at the boat, and it punches an enormous hole in the side of the hull. The boat quickly sinks. Shrek turns to leave to find the Patreons on far, far away, shaking their heads as they leave. Rawl, the makeup specialist, tightens some aprons around Shrek and Fiona. Donkey, Puss, and Rawl stand in front of him. Well, since you're filling in for one, you might as well look like a real king. Can someone come in here and work on Shrek, please? Rawl stares at Shrek. Shrek raises his eyebrows. I will see what I can do. He unrolls a satchel full of different gardening tools. Suddenly, Shrek's arms and legs are strapped into a chair. A man stands with his back to the camera and pulls on a rip cord as if he's holding a chain saw. He turns around and to reveal a circular sander, and he starts to grind away at Shrek's gruesome toenails. Shrek cringes. We see a close-up of Shrek's eye. A mascara brush comes into frame and pulls at Shrek's eyelash. Fiona gets her nose hairs plucked. Ow! Shrek the Third, final screening, script 8. Lipstick is applied to some lips. The camera pulls back to reveal that the lips are Shrek's. A hand tries to tighten a zipper on Shrek's back. It keeps snagging on the skin until they finally rip it past and tighten up the zipper all the way. A small sock is placed onto Shrek's foot with a shoehorn. Shrek's foot is shoved into a small shoe. Pop. A collar is placed around Fiona's neck, and her corset is tightened. A drill comes into frame and tightens the rivet on Shrek's belt. A mole is placed on his cheek. Shrek and Fiona standing awkwardly in outrageous Renaissance outfits. Donkey gasp. Oh, pulls rolls in his eyes. Yeah, wow, Fiona's uncomfortable. Is this really necessary? Ho ho, quite necessary, Fiona. I'm Shrek, you twit. Whatever. Okay, peoples, this isn't a rehearsal. Let's see some hustle. Smiles, everyone. Smiles. Off screen, the master of ceremonies announces the couples arriving at the party. Fiona turns to Shrek and sees he is not in a good mood. I don't know how much longer I can keep this up, Fiona. I'm sorry, Shrek, but can you please just try to grin and bear it? It's just until Dad gets better. Shrek lets out another frustrated sigh. Shrek, yeah? You look handsome. Aw, come here, you. She gives him a supportive smile. He relaxes and smiles back. Fiona puckers up her lips and Shrek leans in for a kiss, but their bulky outfits prevent it. Shrek and Fiona let out a huge breath of air. Oh, my butt is itching up a storm, and I can't reach it in this monkey suit. Shrek tries to scratch his butt, but to no avail. Oh, hey you, come here. A man holding a rubby scepter walks over to Shrek. So hot in this room. It's like 80 degrees. 81 degrees, actually. What's your name? Fiddlesworth, sir. Perfect. The announcer introduces Shrek and Fiona. Ladies and gentlemen, Princess Fiona and Sir Shrek. The audience claps. The curtain starts to open. Fiddlesworth is scratching away at Shrek's butt. You've done it. Oh, a little over to the left. Yeah, that's great. Shrek? Fiddlesworth struggles to reach Shrek's itch. The crowd looks on in horror. Fiona tries to get his attention. Alright, you got it. Oh yeah, you're on it. Oh, that's it. Oh, that's good. Shrek? Oh yeah, scratch that thing. You got it. You're on it. That's great. Shrek and Fiddlesworth finally see the crowd. They both freeze. Shrek laughs nervously. Suddenly, Shrek's belt buckle snaps off and hits Donkey in the eye. He stumbles through the crowd screaming, Ow, my eye, my eye. As he's stumbling, he grabs a hold of a lady in the crowd. What are you doing? The woman pushes Donkey away. He falls, knocking over a guard holding an axe on his way down. The guard drops off the axe. It flies past Puss, who is in the arms of a lady. The axe knocks over a vase. The vase files up on stage, and Fiona maneuvers it to catch it. In-flight water spills out of the vase, which causes Fiona to fall over. Shrek's tuxedo bib slaps him in the face. The clasp holding the Shrek's pants break off. Shrek stands on stage with his pants around his ankles. He shuffles around towards Fiona. Fiona! He trips over his pants and hits a loose wooden plank on the stage. The plank flings up and sends Fiddlesworth flying through the air, where his jacket slips over a banner pole, trapping him. Shrek has reached Fiona, who is still lying on the floor. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Fiona's eyes suddenly widen. Fiddlesworth's jacket rips, and he falls onto a waiter carrying flaming skewers. The skewers fly through the air. Donkey stands up in frame, with one eye half shut. The flaming skewers shoot by him and land in the curtains, setting them on fire. He blows one of the skewers out and takes a bite. Oh, Trimp, my favorite. The fire causes a far, far away shield to detach from a wooden ceiling beam and fall onto the stage, breaking it in half. The whole stage collapses in the middle. The buffet tables slide towards Shrek and Fiona at the other end and collide. The door to Fiona's room flies open. That's it, we're leaving. Shrek storms in, pulling bits of buffet food off his face. Honey, please come down. Shrek grabs the wig off his head and throws it aside. Calm down. Who do you think you are? Who do you think we're kidding? I'm an ogre. I'm not cut out for this. Fiona and I will never be. Shrek wipes off his makeup with his shirt sleeve and flings his shirt to the door. He falls into the bed next to Donkey. I think that went pretty well. Shrek startles. Donkey. Shrek picks him up and throws him out the door. Oh, come on now, Shrek. Shrek slams the door. Shut. Shrek turns back towards the bed and sees Puss reclining on his pillow. Some people just don't understand boundaries. Shrek picks Puss up by the scruff of his neck and tosses him outside the window. He shuts it. Puss sits sadly on the ledge, giving Shrek his sad eyes routine. Shrek draws the blinds. Shrek stomps over and falls back onto the bed. Fiona tries to calm him down. Just think, a couple more days and we'll be back home in our vermin-filled shack, strewn with fungus, filled with the rotting stench of mud and neglect. This thought calms him. Shrek takes in a long, deep breath and exhales. He smiles. Oh, you had me at vermin-filled, and maybe even the pitter-patter of little feet on the floor. That's right, the swamp rats will be spawning. No. You know, what I was thinking of is a bit bigger than a swamp rat. Donkey? No, Shrek. What if, yeah? They were little ogre feet. Oh. Shocked, Shrek falls off the bed. He slowly emerges from behind the bed. Honey, let's try and be rational about this. Have you seen a baby lately? They just eat poop, and they cry when they poop, and they poop when they cry. Now imagine an ogre baby. They extra cry, and they extra poop. Shrek. She grabs his hands and looks deeply into his eyes. Should I do good? Don't you ever think about having a family? Shrek takes her hand. Right now, you're my family. There's a knock on the bedroom door. The door busts open, revealing a royal page. Shrek springs up. Well, somebody better be dying. The camera pushes through a corridor that leads into the king's bedroom. The king is lying on his lily pad, coughing. I'm dying. The king... Oh, I'm dying! Okay. The king inhales and launches into a violent coughing fit. Shrek looks a bit guilty at his last admission. The queen comes to the king's aid, and he settles down. Harold! Don't forget to pay the gardener, Lillian. The queen is used to these kinds of non-squitters. Of course, darling. The king suppresses a few coughs. He turns to his daughter. Fiona! Yes, Daddy? I know I've made many mistakes with you. It's okay. But your love for Shrek has taught me so much. Fiona smiles. The king addresses Shrek. My dear boy, I am proud to call you my frog, King Dad-in-law. Oh. Shrek smiles. Now, there's a matter of business to attend to. The king starts wheezing and coughing. Eventually he stops. They think he's dead. Puss solemnly removes his hat. The frog king is dead. Fiona starts crying. The king suddenly wakes up coughing. Put your hat back on, fool. Shrek, please come hither. Fiona gives Shrek a look. Shrek walks over to the king. Yeah, Dad? The kingdom needs a new king. You and Fiona are next in line for the throne. Ooh, next in line. Now you see, Dad. That's why people love you. Even on your deathbed, you're still making jokes. The king stares at Shrek. Stone-faced, Shrek leans in closer. Oh, come on, Dad. An ogre as king? I don't think that's such a good idea. There's got to be somebody else, anybody. Aside from you, there is only one remaining heir. Shrek brightens. Really? Who is he, Dad? His name is... What's his name? That actually hurts. Shrek leans in closer after each is waiting in anticipation. The king starts to hyperventilate. Daddy. The king is dead. A fly comes out of his mouth and flies away. Puss starts to take his hat off. The fly buzzes into frame. A tongue catches it. Puss puts his hat back on, chewing the fly. His name is Arthur. Arthur? I know you'll do what's right. He succumbs. The king really is dead now. Harold? Harold? Dad. Donkey bows his head. Do your thing, man. Puss takes his hat off. Fiona starts to cry and hugs Shrek. The weight of the king's request hits Shrek. He is in a state of shock. We hold a moment on the queen, Shrek, Fiona, Puss, and Donkey to let the king's passing sink in. Dissolve, too. The streets of Far, Far Away are empty. People are closing up shops on Rodeo Drive. The kings of Far, Far Away march toward the castle as the flag is lowered to half-mast. Close on a statue of the late king, Shrek, Fiona, the queen, and all of the fairy tale creatures and princesses have gathered for the funeral. The queen sets an old shoebox on top of the lily pad and sends it floating into the water. An overhead shot shows the box floating through the lily pads. The camera tilts up to reveal Frog Choir singing live and let die. The princesses, Donkey, Puss, and the fairy tale creatures all bow their heads solemnly. Shrek puts his arm around Fiona. The funeral has ended, and the crowd begins to disperse. Shrek, Fiona, and the queen stand by the pond. The queen sadly gazes at the pond. The camera pulls back to reveal a cloaked figure on a horseback overlooking the funeral. The figure removes his hood to reveal Prince Charming. He gives a smug smile and rides off. Prince Charming rides up to the Poison Apple bar. Smoke wafts through the screen. The camera pans down to the top of the piano, where an ashtray with a lit cigarette burns and a brandy sifter is filled with coins. The camera burns and a brandy sifter. Oh, I already said that. The camera pans over to a singing witch who turns around to reveal a microphone in her hand. The singing witch starts to sing "I've Never Been to Me" by Nancy Wilson. The bar is filled with various fairy tale villains. Two pirates sit forlornly with their mugs. The puppet master takes a drink out of a beer mug. He is surrounded by a bunch of empty beer mugs. Prince Charming enters the bar. A group is gathered around Cyclops, riding a medieval mechanical bull, hooting and hollering. The bull stops and villains turn to look at Prince Charming. Prince Charming hangs his cape on a tree branch. The camera adjusts right to reveal the branch is actually one of those evil trees, who flings the cape to the door. Everyone takes notice as Prince Charming walks through. Little Red Riding Hood is sitting on a pile of books at the table. Evil dwarves glare at Prince Charming's direction. Prince Charming walks by a pair of witches. One is Evil Queen from Snow White playing pool. The Evil Queen scratches when she sees him at the pool ball goes flying into the Headless Horseman's neck. Prince Charming walks away by the singing witch. He reaches the bar, pulls out a handkerchief, places it over the bar stool, and sits. Prince Charming spots the bartender with her back to him. He clears his throat. What does a prince have to do to get a drink around here? Mabel, the other ugly stepsister, rises up in front of a poster with a smiling beer wench. Ah, Mabel. Why they call you an ugly stepsister, I'll never know. He winks at her. She glares at him. That's disgusting. Where's Doris? Taking the night off? She's not welcome here, and neither are you. She spits into the mug and wipes it with a towel. What do you mean, Charming? Oh, not much. Just a chance of redemption. And a fuzzy navel, Prince Charming stands up and turns to the bar patrons. And fuzzle navels for all my friends. Captain Hook rips off his hook across the piano keys, and singing witch bares his teeth. The witches break their pool cues. The puppet master breaks his beer mug. We're not your friends. Prince Charming grows nervous. The villains all approach Prince Charming from behind the bar. Mabel grabs Prince Charming by his shoulders and pins him on top of the bar. Ah, Captain Hook places his hook against Prince Charming's neck. You don't belong here. You're right. Oh, I mean, you're absolutely right. But I mean, do any of us? Do a number on his face. No, wait. We're all like than you think. Prince Charming turns to the Evil Queen. Wicked witch. The 7 dwarves saved Snow White, and then what happened? Oh, what's it to you? They left you, the unfairest of them all. And now here you are hustling pool to get your next meal. How does that feel? Pretty unfair. Prince Charming begins to work the crowd. And you, the star puppet, abandons the show to go and find his father. I hate that little wooden puppet. Prince Charming turns to the Captain Hook. And Hook, Prince Charming looks down at the Hook. Need I say more? Captain Hook backs off, feeling insecure about his appendage. And you, frumpy pigskin, Rumpelstiltskin. Where's the firstborn you were promised? Hey? Rumpelstiltskin caresses a pacifier tattoo on his forearm. Prince Charming gains more confidence as he confronts Mabel. Mabel, remember how you couldn't get your little fat foot into that tiny glass slipper? Mabel sighs. Cinderella is in far, far away right now eating bonbons, converting with every little last fairy tale creature that has ever done you wrong. Prince Charming now has everyone's attention. Once upon a time, someone decided that we were the losers, but there are 2 sides to every story. And our side has not been told. The crowd listens, rapt. So who will join me? Who wants to come out on top for once? who wants their happily ever after? The crowd of villains cheer and start getting rowdy. A bar room brawl ensues. Prince Charming looks on, shocked. He ducks out of the way of a flying liquor bottle. He smiles nervously and lifts his fruity, fossil navel to drink. The camera booms down the lighthouse. This way, gents. The Plymouth stumble and fall, trying to get down to the steps of the dock. The fairy tale creatures and a dragon have gathered to witch Shrek, Puss, and Donkey on a bon voyage as they set off to receive Arthur. On the docks, two donkeys chase a seagull as the camera pans over to Puss, who breaks free of the embrace of a lady cat. It's out of my hands, señorita. The winds of fate have blown on my destiny, but I will never forget you. You are the love of my life. Off screen, the cat meows and walks towards Puss. As you are, camera pulls out to reveal more and more cats approaching Puss. And you. Puss starts walking away as the two of the cats begin to engage in a cat fight. They are hissing at each other as Puss backs away from the end into another. And, hi. I don't know you, but I'd like to. I gotta go. Puss runs away, out of frame. Cut to Dragon, who is talking to Donkey. Puss runs past them in the background. Dragon lets off a soft wail. I know. I don't want to leave you either, baby. But you know how Shrek is. The dude's lost without me. She gives him an understanding smile. But don't worry. I'll send you airmail kisses every day. He blows her a kiss and she catches it. He looks down at his children, holding back tears. All right, be strong, babies. Be strong. Now, Coco, Peanut, you are listening to Mama, all right? And Bananas, no more roasting marshmallows on your sister's head. Bananas lets out a fiery sneeze. As there's my special boy. Oh, come on over here, all of you. Give your daddy a big hug. My baby Donkey flies around their daddy. The Donkey that Fiona is holding flies off to join Donkey and the others. Fiona nervously takes in a breath. Shrek, maybe you should just stay and be king. Oh, come on, there's no way I could ever run a kingdom. That's why your cousin Arthur's the perfect choice. It's not that, no, it's, you see, and he gives me any trouble, I'll always get the persuasion and reason. Holds up the right fist. Here's persuasion and here's reason. Shrek chuckles. Fiona gives him a look. Shrek reassures her. Fiona, soon it's just gonna be you and me in our swamp. It's not going to be just you and me. The ship foghorn sounds. All aboard. It will be, I promise, I love you. He kisses her and joins Puss and Donkey on the boat. The title proudly heeds crushing responsibility. HRM crushing responsibility too. The boat sets sail. The donkeys spell out, "We love you, Daddy," with smoke in the sky. Aw. That's lovely. Donkey waves to his kids, sobs. Bye-bye, babies. Fiona runs after the boat. Shrek leans against the rail, calling out to her. Yeah? Wait. What is it? She smiles and takes a deep breath. I'm... The ship captain blows a foghorn and cuts her off. Shrek smiles back at her. I love you too, honey. No, I said I'm The ship captain starts to blow again. She grabs the horn and throws it overboard. You're what? I said I'm pregnant. Shrek doesn't want to believe. What was that? You're going to be a father. That's great. Really? I'm glad you think so. I love you. Shrek smiles back at Fiona. Yeah, me too. You. Fiona smiles at the queen, places her hand on her shoulder. Overjoyed at the news, Donkey pops onto the railing. I'm gonna be an uncle. I'm gonna be an uncle. I'm gonna be an uncle. Oh, you are my friend. You are royally. The foghorn blast again, and the boat disappears into fog. The boat travels along in the open sea. Shrek falls fast asleep as the boat travels through an estuary and beaches itself. Shrek wakes up. He opens the cabin door. Ah, home. He smiles to himself. The boat has beached itself right outside Shrek's swamp house. He leaps off the boat. Woohoo! Shrek takes a deep breath of swamp air. He skips and dances happily towards his house. Shrek? Ooh. He sashays through the front door with his eyes closed, presenting himself. Fiona? After a moment of silence, he opens his eyes, realizing that Fiona is not there. Fiona? He looks around the room, puzzled. The door slams, closed behind him. Check the third, finals. Script 28. Oh, I'm so bored. Not even a third of the way done. I can't do this. I can't. Ow. I want to go home. After a moment's silence, he opens his eyes, realizing that Fiona is not there. Fiona? He looks around the room, puzzled. The door slams behind him. A baby carriage rolls slowly into frame behind him. He turns slowly and sees the baby carriage covered with a blanket. Trek removes the blanket, revealing a baby ogre smiling innocently at him. Oh no, the baby burps. Better out than in, I always say, haha. Hiccup. This time the baby burps into projectile vomit aimed directly at Trek. Trek puts his hand to the block and eventually stops after completely soiling himself and Trek. The baby looks like it's about to cry. Trek raises his hands. No. Haha. It's okay, it's gonna be okay. Alright. Trek picks up the baby, smiling at it cautiously. He holds it awkwardly for a few seconds, then looks up and realizes that his house is filled with babies. Da! Babies roll around his living room, tearing the fabric off into his chair. I have no clue where I was. One of the babies strikes a match near the fireplace. Trek runs over, picks up the baby, and blows out the match. He takes a baby out of the cauldron. Hey, wait. Would ya? No, stop. Hey, no. Trek panics. A baby's knocking glass jars off the shelf. Trek catches him before he crawls off of it. Trek runs through the room, picking up babies. Trek the third, final screening, script 29. After he has collected as many babies as he can, Trek slides open the curtain to his bedroom. Huh? He sees a baby sitting in his bed, smiling up at him. The baby shrugs. Boo boo batu. Suddenly Trek hears a loud rumble. He turns around. Babies start pouring out of the window in the fireplace. Guys, I don't want to go home. Guys, I don't want to do this. I really don't want to do this. I want to anyway. He sees a baby sitting on the bed, smiling up at him. The baby shrugs. Suddenly, Trek hears a loud rumble. He turns around, babies starting pouring out of the window in the fireplace. First there's one, then two, then 31 more follow. Hundreds of them start piling in. Trek makes a run for the doorway, but no matter how hard he runs, the doorway keeps getting farther and farther away. He keeps struggling, hundreds of babies trailing behind. Finally, Trek reaches the door and opens it. He slams it shut behind him and closes his eyes. Everything is quiet. He opens his eyes and finds himself on stage in front of his high school. Trek looks up to find his graduation cap on his head. The audience is full of ogre babies laughing at him. The camera pulls back to reveal Trek standing at the podium, naked. Trek's eyes pop open. He sits upright and tries to compose himself. Oh, Donkey, wake up. Donkey and Puss turn around, but they both have baby ogre faces. Donkey makes a baby noise, and the camera zooms in. Donkey's eyes glow red, and his teeth become sharp and pointy. Da. A foghorn blows. Trek bolts upright again. Donkey and Puss wake up. He breathes heavily, trying to compose himself. Trek, are you okay? Oh, I can't believe I'm going to be a father. Donkey and Puss look at each other. He gets up and walks to the ship's railing. How did this happen? Allow me to explain, you see. When a man has certain feelings for a woman, a powerful speaks over him. I know how it happened. I just can't believe it. Trek walks away. Donkey leans over to Puss. How did it happen? Puss rolls his eyes at Donkey. Donkey sees Trek at the back of the boat, staring out at the distant horizon. He walks up next to his friend. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy blue and the man and the moon. When you coming home, son, I don't know when, but we'll be together then. Dad. Donkey, can you just cut to the part where you're supposed to make me feel better? Trek slumps against the rail. Puss hops up on the railing, whispers it to Trek's at the other ear. You know I love Fiona. Boss, right? But what I'm talking about here is you, me, my cousin's boat, an ice cold pitcher of mojitos, and 2 weeks of nothing but fishing. Puss makes a let's go fishing gesture by casting an imaginary rod into the ocean. Donkey is right there and whispering in Trek's other ear, man, don't you listen to him. Having a baby is not going to ruin your life. It's not my life I'm worried about. It's the kids. Donkey and Puss pause as Shrek rants. I mean, when have you ever heard the phrase as sweet as an ogre, or as nurturing as an ogre, or about you're gonna love my dad, he's a real ogre. Okay, I get it. Nobody said it was going to be easy, but at least you got us to help you out. That's true. He thinks for a moment. I'm doomed. You'll be fine. You're finished. Everyone turns and looks at the captain, who clears his throat. With your journey, he points to the shore. A majestic castle starts proudly on a nearby bluff. Trek, Puss, and Donkey stand at the entrance of the castle. Donkey reads the sign hanging over the entrance. Worcester tree. Now that sounds fancy. Worcester, I can't read that. Like the sauce. It's spicy. The drawbridge into the castle lowers. Oh, they must be expecting us. They start over the drawbridge, but a horse whines below them. Trek, Donkey, and Puss jump out of the way as a medieval school bus storms by. The kids on the back of the bus scream when they see Trek. What in the Chestershire kind of place is this? Trek suddenly looks concerned. Well, my stomach aches and my palms get sweaty. Must be high school. High school. A group of cheerleaders practice. Ready? Okay. Where art thou headed? To the top? Yeah, we think so. And now thou thinkest thine can be stopped? Nay, we thinks not. Trek rolls his eyes and continues on, terrifying the students as he walks through the courtyard. The kid runs away quickly into the student parking lot, where a bunch of different style horse-drawn carriages are parked. Carriage passes in front of Trek that reads, "Caution, student driver." Driver's ed instructor. All right, Mr. Percival, just ease on to the reins. The carriage jolts forward and crashes off screen. Two stoner kids emerge from a medieval-style VW carriage. For low, bro. Don't burn all my Frankensteins and myrrh. I'm all ready. Did you receive the wages? You were clearly not the wearer of the underpants. Let's just say some things are better left unsaid and leave it at that. He notices two female students discussing their love lives. So then I was all like, I'd rather get the black peg and lock myself into an Iron Maiden than go out with you. Oh, totally. Trek approaches them. Pardon me. They flee in terror. Totally Ewith. Yeah, totally. A pair of dorky kids play a medieval role-playing board game. Yes, I just altered my character level to +3 super ability. Hi, we're looking for someone named G who rolled a +9 dork spell and summoned the beast as his quadrupeds. Haha. The student panics when his nose starts to bleed. I know you're busy not fitting in, but can you either of you tell me where I can find Arthur? While Xavier tries to control the bleeding, Gary points towards the athletic field. He's over there. In the distance, Trek spots a bold knight atop his steed. He looks very impressive as he rears up, ready to charge. Donkey and Puss arrive to see it. The beginning of the charge, in an exciting back and forth. Hoofs pound on sand, the knight's eyes steady. The opponent's eyes widen in fear. The lance hits, and the opponent flies through the air and lands in front of Trek, Puss, and Donkey. Trek I can't do this. It hurts. I'll be right back. In the distance, Trek spots a bold knight atop his steed. He looks very impressive, and he rears up ready to charge. Chuck, Donkey, and Puss arrive to see the beginning of the charge. It's an exciting back and forth. Hoof pounds on sand, the knight's eyes steady. The horse rears majestically. The opponent's eyes widen in fear. The lance hits, and the opponent flies through the air and lands in front of Shrek, Puss, and Donkey. Shrek looks back at the victorious knight. He removes his helmet, revealing a strong, handsome face. The knight enjoys his victory. Ha! There is no sweeter taste than the tongue of the victory. Alrighty, ooh. Shrek turns to Puss. Shrek through. I can't do this. Strong, handsome face, the leader. Does Arthur look like a king or what? Shrek steps forward. Ow. Shrek looks down, his foot planted square in the chest of Lancelot's opponent. Shrek steps back. Oh, sorry. The kid doesn't budge, his arms and legs still sprawled out where he hit the ground. Did you just say you were looking for Arthur? Shrek, Puss, and Donkey turn back around. That information is on a need-to-know basis. It's top secret. Hush-de-hush. The king commands his troops. Now, gentlemen, let's away to the showers. Oh, right. Shrek approaches the knights. The knight's horse rears up and he falls off. The horse gallops off. The knight looks up at Shrek in fear. Greetings, your majesty. This is your lucky day. So, what are you supposed to be? Some kind of giant mutant leprechaun or something? Oh, ho-ho, giant mutant leprechaun. You made a funny. Shrek scoops up the knight, tosses him over his shoulder, ogre style. Unhand me, monster. Stop squirming, Arthur. I'm not Arthur. Shrek stops and holds Lancelot above his head. Lancelot tries to regain his dignity. I am Lancelot. Lancelot points across the schoolyard. That dork over there is Arthur. He points to teenage Arthur, skulking away across the schoolyard. Hey. Artie turns his head briefly, but keeps on walking. Shrek sighs and dumps Lancelot to the ground. Ah! Shrek storms off towards the school. Puss and Donkey catch up. One of the female students steps in front of Shrek. This is, totally embarrassing, but my friend Tiffany thinks you vex her so soothingly. The other girls giggle, and she thought, perchance thou would want to ask her to do homecoming dance or something. Excuse me? It's like whatever. She's just totally into college guys and mythical creatures and stuff. She pops her gum. Shrek and Puss search the hallways, looking for Artie. Oh, Arthur, come out wherever you are. Off screen, we hear mumbling from inside a locker. Shrek and Puss look as Donkey pushes the locker door open. He has been stuffed inside. Off screen, we hear some students laughing. Yeah, you better run, you little punk, no. Because the days of little donkey dumpy drawers are over. And I suck if the sign has been taped to Donkey's butt. Shrek spots students entering the gymnasium. They approach a hall monitor who stops them. Hold it. 2 mascot costume students walk away to the hall monitor. We're here for the mascot contest. The hall monitor waves them in. Shrek gets an idea. Oh my gosh. It's not even halfway over. Too far. We're here for the mascot contest too. The hall monitor reaches out and starts painfully pinching and pulling Shrek's skin. Shrek tries to hide the pain. This is a costume? Hey, it worked on it all night long. Hall monitor lets his face snap back into place. Shrek shrugs not to scream in agony. Hall monitor is still suspicious. Looks pretty real to me. If they're real cool, I do this. Puss's claws snap out one at a time like jackknives. And then Puss jabs all the claws deep into Shrek's butt. Or this. Donkey kicks Shrek head in the groin when his hind legs. Shrek winches and sweats. He's right. If we're real, then we would have agonizing and painful. Now watch this. That's quite enough, boys. Principal Fincy resides over an assembly of the entire student body. He speaks through a megaphone. Thank you to the president, but you just say nay. 2 students are standing next to the ones dressed as up like a dragon and the griffin. And Shrek versus the double. Ogre. The student gasps and Shrek marches forward. That's right. I'm the new mascot. So let's really try and beat the other guys at whatever this is what they're doing. The band plays Smash Mouth Rockstar. This is indeed all a bit unorthodox. Without breaking stride, Shrek grabs Principal's megaphone. Now where can I find Arthur Pinchigan? Shrek through. Classic. Donkey turns to Lancelot. You should be ashamed of yourself. I didn't do it. They did. Please don't eat me. Eat him. Eat him. Even Principal gets caught up in the excitement. Eat him. I'm not here to eat him. Aw. It's time to pack up your toothbrush and jammies. You're the new king of far, far away. What? Already a king, more like the major mayor of Loserville. Nice one, Lance. They high five. Burn. Everyone laughs. Is this for real? Absolutely. Now clean up your locker, kid. You've got a kingdom to run. So wait, I'm really the only heir? Tech pauses for a moment, then the one and only. Give me a second. Ari turns back to the crown, delivers a heartfelt speech. My good people, I think there's a lesson to learn here. Maybe the next time you're about to dunk a kid's head into a chamber pot, you'll stop and think, hey, maybe this guy has feelings. Maybe I should cut him some slack. Because maybe, just maybe, this guy's gonna turn out to be, I don't know, a king. And maybe he banishes everyone who picked on him. That's right. I'm looking at you, jousting team. Ari points to Lancelot, and his buddies look terrified. And Gwen, oh Gwen, I've always loved you. We're good friends. It breaks my heart, but enjoy your stay in prison while I rule over the free world, baby. Alright, let's not overdo it. I'm building my city people on rock and roll. You just overdid it. Shrek shoves the kid through the door. Ow. Check, Donkey, and Puss exit the gymnasium. All the princesses and fairy tale creatures are gathered for the Fiona's baby shower. A group of birds gently place a flower wealth on the princess's head. The princesses all gaze at her. Oh, look at you, wow. You look darling. Just precious, look at her. So have you had any cravings since you've been pregnant? No, not at all. Just takes another bite. Do you smell ham? Oh, it's present time. I don't think I can do this. I genuinely don't think I can do this. I don't. Oh, Fiona, won't you please open mine first? It's the one in front. Congratulations on your new mess maker. Hopefully that helps, love. Cinderella. Fiona opens it and pulls out a plastic baggie and pooper scooper. Oh, well, you look at that. What is it? It's for the poopies. Wait, babies poop? Everyone poops, beauty. Fiona, we all chipped in for a little present too. Pinocchio spins around revealing a baby. Ta-da. Ooh. You know, the baby's gonna love it because I do. Oh, you guys, that's so sweet, thank you. Fiona turns to another present. Who is this one from? I got you the biggest one because I love you the most. All the other girls scowl at her. Having one on me. I love Snow White. Check the third final screening, script 46. And what is it? Huh. He's a live-in babysitter. Where's the baby? You're too kind, Snow, but I can't accept this. Think nothing of it. I've got 6 more at home. What does he do? The cleaning, the feeding, the burping. So what are Trek and I supposed to do? Well, now you'll have plenty of time to work on your marriage. Gee, thanks, Rapunzel. And what's that supposed to mean? Oh, come on now, Fiona. You know what happens. Cinderella Proud's beauty. Oh, you're tired of... Well, you're letting yourself go. Stretch marks. Say goodbye to romance. I'm sorry, but how many of you have kids? Well, wager yourself on the couch. That's right. A baby is only going to strengthen the love that Shrek and Fiona have. How did Shrek react when you told him? Tell me. Fiona smiles. Well, the first thing he found out, Shrek said, roar. That's right. A baby's only going to strengthen the love. Fiona smiles. Well, then he first found out Shrek said roar. The fairy tale villains are heading to town. Onward, my new friends. To our happily ever afters. A bug flies into his mouth. Prince Charming takes the bug out of his mouth. Now bombs away. in the sky, Prince Charming Skylips. Well, oh well, if it isn't Peter Pan. His name's not Peter. Shut up, Wendy. Ah. Ha ha ha. Enough pillaging to the castle. Prince Charming on the broom leads the fairy tale villains up to the castle. The evil witches surrounded the castle. Dragons wait to the villagers flying by it. But even more witches circle her. Fiona runs to the window. The evil witches drop a metal net over the dragon. She struggles. Roar. Bang. The fairy tale creatures run to barricade the door. The three pigs and Pinocchio push a dresser and other furniture in front of the door. The fairy tale creatures are fortifying the room. They brace themselves against the furniture. You go and take care of the baby. The princess panic. Everybody stay calm. We're all going to die. Fiona rushes to the fireplace and pushes it to one side, revealing an underground passageway. Everyone in now. Prince Charming commands the villains. Come on. Put some back into it, people. The villains use an evil tree as a battering ram. Cyclops rides the tree like a mechanical bull. Yeehaw, ow. The boom. The door is starting to give way. We don't have time. Now go. Quickly, ladies. The princess goes down the stairs. We'll hold them off as long as we can. Boom. There is one loud explosion at the door. Prince Charming and the fairy tale villain enter. He spots the fairy tale creatures having a tea party. Where's our Shrek and Fiona? Name doesn't ring a bell. Yeah, no bell. The fairy tale creatures go back to drinking their tea. I suggest you freaks cooperate with the new king of far, far away. The only king you are going to be is some king of the stupids. Prince Charming snaps his fingers. Look, right. Captain Hook approaches a gingerbread man. Ye cookie. He raises his hook on gingerbread man's chin. Start talking. Gingerbread man tries to hold strong but passes out. A montage of gingerbread man's life flashing before his eyes. A baker pulls some gingerbread cookies out of the oven. He puts on the gumdrop buttons and gingerbread man is born. Gingy, check the third. Papa. Gingerbread man is attending school. Settle down now. Gingerbread man graduates. Gingerbread man is driving in his car when the top down. Gingerbread man is making out with his girlfriend at the movies. Gingerbread man has his bride run down the aisle as man and wife. Gingerbread man is locked in a jail. Farquaad pulls off his legs. Gingerbread man is running out of treadmill, doing his rehabilitation. Gingerbread man is running through the wheat field. Gingerbread man is still in a dream, skate singing. Oh, the good ship Lollipop, it's a sweet trip to the candy shop where bonbons play on the summer. Prince Charming becomes frustrated. He turns Pinocchio's head towards him. You can't lie. So tell me, puppet, where's Shrek? Pinocchio thinks. Well, I don't know where he's not. Prince Charming gets in Pinocchio's face. You're telling me you don't know where Shrek is. Pinocchio is still a little nervous. It wouldn't be inaccurate to assume that I couldn't exactly not say that it is or was partially incorrect. Pinocchio thinks he has an upper hand. So you do know where he is. On the contrary, I'm possibly more or less not definitely rejecting the idea that in no way uncertainty that stop it. I undeniably do or do not know where he shouldn't probably be. Captain Hook stretches his hand. Evil Three Little Pigs is frustrated. If that indeed wasn't where he isn't, even if he wasn't not where I knew he could mean that I wouldn't completely know where he wasn't. Gingerbread Man continues to sing his Lollipop song. Oh, enough. Shrek went off to bring back the next hare. Ooh. The pig realizes his mission and immediately covers his mouth. Pinocchio laughs nervously. He's bringing back the next heir. No, Pinocchio nose grows. Hook, get rid of this new king. Right. But bring Shrek to me. I have something special in mind for him. He'll never fall for your tricks. Pinocchio's nose grows again. Oh boy. The boat cuts through the open sea. Artie smiles as he stretches Worcestershire, striking away on the horizon. I can't believe it, me, a king. I mean, I knew I came from royalty and all, but I just figured everyone just forgot about me. He looks out to the sea, disbelieving. Oh no, in fact, the king asked for you personally. Artie smiles. Really? Wow, look. I know it's not all gonna be fun and games. It really is all fun and games, actually, sure. You have to knight a few heroes, launch a ship or two, but by the way, make sure you hit the boat right with the bottle. Boat with the bottle, any idiot could hit a boat with a bottle, Shrek chuckles sheepishly. Well, I've heard it's harder than it looks. Whoa, this is gonna be huge. Parties, princesses, castle, princesses. It's gonna be great, Artie. You'll be living in the lap of luxury. They've got the finest chefs around. Who jumps over the railing next to Artie? Unfortunately, you'll have the royal food tasters. Oh yeah, what do? They'll taste the food before the king eats, so to make sure it's not poisoned. Poisoned. Shrek tenses troubly and immediately steps in. Or too salty. Shrek turns to Puss and Donkey, trying to shut them up. Don't worry about it. You'll be safe and sound with the help of your bodyguards. Bodyguards, all of them willing at a moment's notice to lay down their lives out of devotion to you. Really? See, and the whole kingdom will look to you for wisdom and guidance. Behind Arcee, Shrek's mouth shuts up to Puss and Donkey. Just make sure they don't die of famine or plague. Oh, plague is bad. The coughing, the groaning, the festering sores. Oh, festering sores. Hey, you are one funny kitty cat. What did I say? We don't want Artie here getting the wrong idea. Shrek motions to Artie, but he's gone. They all look around. Artie? The boat suddenly pitches to the right. Shrek braces himself. Puss and Donkey tumble away. Whoa. Artie swings the wheel around, sending the boat back into the direction of his school. Shrek works his way into the captain and gains control of the wheel. The drunken ship captain slides by. Whoa, there goes my hip. Artie. Shrek turns the wheel the other way. What are you doing? The boat veers again, heading back towards far, far away. Artie falls to the ground and slides to the back of the boat. A shuffleboard stick slides to Artie. He grabs it. What does it look like? He jams it in the boat's wheel. The boat lurches. He swings the boat back in the other direction. Shrek rises up and grabs at the wheel and turns it. This really isn't up to you. Artie falls underneath the wheel. He stands up, shoving the wheel back the other way. But I don't know anything about being king. You'll learn on the job. Knocking Puss rolled across the deck. Sorry to disappoint you, but I'm going back. Back to what, being a loser? As soon as the word leaves his lips, Shrek knows he's gone too far. Stung Artie lets go of the wheel, leaving Shrek to yank it hard on it. He pulls the steering column off the decking. Now look what you did. Look what I did. Who's holding the wheel, Sheaf? Donkey climbs up onto the railing. He is seasick and is about to puke when he sees the jagged rocks ahead. Shrek desperately sets the wheel back down and tries to steer the ship clear of the rocks. The camera pans down to the boat. Off screen, we hear the boat crash to the rocks. Land ho. Shrek, holding Puss and Donkey, staggers into a small beach. He glares at Artie, who pulls himself out the surf. Shrek drops Puss and Donkey. Puss, tired of being wet, shakes himself vigorously. His fur puffs up into a frown. He drops his head in shame. How humiliating. Oh, nice going, Your Highness. Oh, so now it's Your Highness. What happened to Loser, huh? Hey, if you think this is getting out of anything, well, it isn't. What? You just said father. I said king. You're going to be a king. You're going to be king. Yeah, right. Artie shakes his head and marches down the beach toward a path into the woods. Where do you think you're going? Far, far away from you. You get back here, young man, and I mean it. Artie keeps climbing. Boss, I don't think that he's coming back, and maybe it's for the best. He's not exactly king material. Shrek looks towards Artie. When are you planning on telling him that you're really supposed to be king? Oh, come on, dear, why would I do that? Besides, you'll be 10 times better than me. Shrek starts off after Artie. Donkey jumps in front of Shrek. Hey, whoa. Ho, ho, Shrek. Then you're going to have to change your tactics if you want to get anywhere with this kid. But you're right, Donkey. She picks up a piece of driftwood. What about this? Donkey shakes his head in disgust. Shrek tosses the log. Oh, come on. It's just a joke. Still, Shrek walks off, trying to catch up to Artie. Artie marches up the mountain trail. Shrek thinks for a moment and then tries a different tactic with the kid. He catches up to Artie. Listen, Artie. Artie looks back over his shoulder. He sees Shrek and just keeps going. If you think this whole mad scene ain't dope, I feel you, dude. I mean, I'm not trying to get up in your grill or raise the roof up or whatever. What I am screaming is, yo, check out this casing thing, Baze B. Buzanaki glance at each other. Artie notices a cottage in the distance and heads towards it. I mean, if it doesn't groove or what I'm saying ain't straight trippin', just say, oh no, you didn't. You getting my last nerve. Passing a tree, Archie nonchalantly releases the branch, striking Shrek square in the face and taps off running. A boiling soup pot sits over a fire in the front of a small shack. Artie charges through, pounding desperately on the door. Somebody help, I've been kidnapped by a monster trying to relate to me. Artie, wait. Come on, help, hello? Suddenly a burst of light shoots through a candle that is hung on the door. A bright, colorful image of an old wizard head is projected out. Donkey's terrified. Greetings, cosmic children of the universe, and welcome to the Serenity Circle. Shrek watches. Please leave any bad vibes outside. The healing vortex is now prepared. With a fizz and a boop, the image disappears. The door opens up. A tiny old man, Merlin, comes out. I knew I should have gotten that warranty. Merlin smashes the security device with his little fist, and he's promptly zapped in the head. Ow. Mr. Merlin? You know this guy? Yeah, he was the school's magic teacher until he had a nervous breakdown. Technically, I was merely a victim of a level 3 fatigue, and at the request of the therapists at the school authorities, I have retired to the tranquility of the nature to discover my divine purpose. Merlin smacks a fly that has landed on his head. Shrek and Artie stare in astonishment. Now, can I interest anyone in a snack or beverage? No. Merlin offers up a baking dish full of rocks. So, you don't want to try my famous rock? Merlin takes a bite and chews loudly. His gum is bleeding from eating rocks. It's organic. They both stare at him uncomfortably. Check the third. Oh, thanks. I just ate a boulder on the way in. What we need are directions back to far, far away. What's with the we? Who said I was going with you? Oh, I did, because there's a lot of people counting on you, so don't try to weasel out of it. It's a great job. Why don't you do it? Understand this, kid. It's no more Mr. Nice Guy from here on out. Oh, so that was your Mr. Nice Guy? I know. I'm gonna miss it. You know what? Why don't you have to go terrorize a village and then leave me alone? Oh, is that some kind of crack about ogres? You get your Royal Highness too far, far away back here before I kick it there. Now, which way am I kicking? I can't do this. I cannot do this. Oh, it's so much harder than it looks. It sucks. This is awful. This is a horrible idea that I shouldn't have done. I can't do this anymore. It's been an hour. I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm halfway there. Oh, I could tell you, but since you're in the midst of self-destructive rage spiral, it would be comedically irresponsible. Look, are you gonna help us or not? Check the third final screening script, 65. Most definitely, but only after you take the journey to your soul. Yeah, I don't think so. Oh. Fire blazes. Merlin throws a handful of dirt into the fire. It flares. Now, if you look into the fire and tell me what you see, haha. Pusnaki, excited, sit by the fire. Oh, charades. Okay, I see a Dutch fudge torch with the diamond swirls. Okay, monster, go for it. Shrek glances at the fire. The stroller from his nightmare begins to shape in the mood. He blows the image away. It covers his fear and changes the subject. I see a rainbow pony. Excellent work. Now, the boy. This is lame. Merlin whacks the Artie on the back of the head. Ow. You're lame. Now just go for it. He tosses more dirt into the flames. Burst out. Artie studies it. Okay, there's a baby bird and a nest of father birds sitting in the nest. Merlin starts beating a drum. Artie's expression starts to change. Yes, stay with it, stay with it. Wait, the dad just flew away. Why did he leave the little bird all alone? Shrek starts to take this in as he watches. Artie gets more worked up. Artie looks up at Shrek, but after a while you learn to ignore the names that people call you and you just trust who you are. Artie gently pokes at the embers with a stick for a moment. You know, you're okay, Shrek. He tosses the stick into the fire. You just need to do a little less yelling and use a little more soap. Thanks, Artie. The soap's because you stink really bad. Yeah, I got that. The camera slowly booms up and away from the group as the fire continues to burn. The princesses, Fiona and the queen, are surrounded by darkness as they tiptoe down the steps into the catacombs below the castle. They round a corner and step onto a ledge with Fiona leading the way, holding a torch. On this place is filthy. I feel like a hobo. Fiona tries to keep her frustration in check. I'm sorry, but this isn't working for me. Sleeping Beauty, still being carried by Doris, wakes up. Everything's always about you, isn't it? It's not like your attitude is helping Snow. Well, maybe it just bothers you that I was voted fairest in the land. You mean that rigged election? Oh, give me a break, gesturing towards hair. Snow White, Rapunzel, let down my golden extensions. Ladies, let go of your pretty complaints. And let's work together. Snow White and Rapunzel share an indignant look. Fiona travels deeper into the catacombs. The other princesses follow. So I guess the plan is we just wander aimlessly into the stink hole until we rot. No, we're gonna get inside and find out what Charming's up to. I know he's a jerk and everything, but I gotta admit, just Charming takes me hotter than July. Ew. Finally, Fiona spots what he's looking for. That's it. Fiona, the queen, and the princess run toward a long ladder and climb up through a grate until the main castle courtyard. They peer around a corner and see the construction of an outdoor theater underway. The stagehands walk by carrying a large dragon set piece. Evil dwarves are busy painting the set. The finishing torches are put on the stage tower. The princesses hug the wall as a group of guards march by. Rapunzel takes off in other direction and signals the princesses to follow her. Come on this way. Rapunzel, wait. Fiona and the princess race after Rapunzel. They spot her sprinting into the castle and follow her. They burst through the doors and see Prince Charming holding Rapunzel by the arm. Charming, let go of her. A large group of armed, far, far away guards surround them. Prince Charming smiles at Fiona. But why would I want to do that? Grr. Woof. He looks back at Rapunzel lovingly, and the two share a long kiss. Fiona and the other princesses are shocked. What? Say hello, ladies, to the new queen of Far, Far Away. Cinderella claps excitingly. Yay. Princesses stare her down. Rapunzel, how could you? Jealous much? Prince Charming eyes up on the princesses. Soon you'll be back where you started, scrabbling fours or locked away in towers. That is, if I let you last the week. But Pookie, you promised you wouldn't hurt them. Not here, Kitten Whiskers. Daddy will discuss it later. Now forgive us. We have a show to put on. Shrek will be back soon, Charming. And you'll be sorry. He stops and flashes a sadistic smile. Sorry, don't you realize once Shrek steps foot in Far, Far Away land, he's doomed? Prince Charming leads Rapunzel out. She looks back at him unapologetically. Everyone wears a look of defeat. The guards march them off. Fiona and the princesses are locked away in a prison cell. Fiona looks through the bars of the cell, feeling hopeless. Shrek startles awake. He sits up and scratches his head, looking around. He realizes it's morning. Behind him, a peaceful bird lands on a tree branch. Suddenly, the tree branch was holding the bird flicks it off. Shrek senses the movement behind him and turns around to find everything is normal. He turns back around to wake up everybody. The trees start to advance towards Shrek. The log Artie is sleeping on suddenly sits up, knocking Artie, who is still asleep, on the ground. Ow. The tree turns around to reveal an evil tree. Ducky finally wakes up. The evil tree continues to advance. A piano is heard. The tree's part and Hook is revealed to be playing the piano. The music builds in a dramatic finale. Captain Hook turns away from his keys and faces them. Look out, you've got a piano. Kill them all, except the fat one. He stares hard at Shrek and aims his hooked prosthetic. King Charming has something special in mind for you, Ogre. Shrek is perplexed. King Charming, attack. Pirates charge forward. Swing in from the tree branches. Arg. One lands and keeps his peg leg stuck in the ground. The pirates close in. Shrek grabs one of them and throws him into the side. One pirate raises his sword and prepares to swing at Artie. Artie, duck. Shrek pushes Artie's head down, and the sword narrowly misses him. The pirate prepares to swing and Shrek lifts Artie above his head. Still in the air, Artie uses both his legs to kick the pirate to the ground. Shrek and Artie share a satisfied look. A pirate charges Donkey. Puss draws his sword and begins fighting off the pirate, protecting Donkey. Arg. Arg. The camera pans across. Shrek sees the lit fuse and quickly formulates a plan. He grabs two pirates and shoves them into the treasure chest. He tosses the chest onto each other end at the plank and catapults himself over to the cannon. At the last second, Shrek is able to aim the cannon in the opposite direction. The cannon fires and hits Captain Hook's piano, blowing it into pieces. Revealing there's defeat, an evil tree drops the netting and holds Donkey, Puss, and Artie. The evil trees and pirates take off running. Captain Hook turns and sees his army running off. He shakes his hook in the air. You cowards. What is the charming done with Fiona? She's gonna get what's coming to her. He raises his hook threateningly, but it gets caught by an evil tree branch and is dragged away by the rest of the villains. And there is nothing you can do to stop him. Tight on Shrek, filled with worry, nothing else matters to him now. We've got to save her, but she's so far, far away. Shrek thinks for a moment. Get yourself back to Worcester, kid. No, Shrek, hold on a second. I've got an idea. Merlin is sitting cross-legged, deep in meditation. Artie approaches him. I'm a buzzing bee. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Mr. Merlin, they need a spell to get them. I mean us, back to far, far away. Merlin stops meditating and looks out the corner of his eye at Artie. Forget it. I don't have that kind of magic in me anymore, kid. How about a hug instead? That's the best kind of magic. Artie tries a new approach. Mr. Merlin, please. I know you can. I said forget it. Merlin turns and starts to walk away, muttering under his breath. Interrupted by mumble. Artie thinks for a moment, staring at Merlin. Artie stares to sob. Merlin stops and turns around. Oh, what's that? What's with you? Artie continues to cry. It's just so hard, you know. They really need to get back because their kingdom's in trouble because there's a really bad man and it's just so hard. Merlin is visibly uncomfortable. Come on, take it easy. Artie's blubbering becomes frustrated and unpredictable. No, I don't think you understand. There's a mean person doing mean things to good people. Oh, have a heart, old man. Artie grabs him, now desperate. And they really need your help to get them back, so why don't you help them? Oh, Artie speaks one last unpredictable line. Merlin is stunned. He doesn't know what to do. Okay, I'll go and get my things. Merlin goes into the cave. Artie immediately recovers. Shrek is impressed. Piece of cake. Shrek the third screen. Well. You want some eggs with that ham? Shrek smiles. Merlin returns holding a spellbook. Now I'm a little rusty, so there could be some side effects. Don't worry, whatever it is, no matter how extremely painful it may be, it'll wear off eventually, I think. Merlin cracks his knuckles. A bolt of lightning shoots out of his hands and blows up a rock's neck to Donkey. Oops. Donkey and Puss shoot Shrek a pleading look. Are you sure this is a good idea? Look, if Artie trusts him, that's good enough for me, even if his robe doesn't quite cover his... Azumi zoom. Let's help our friends get back, soon. Magic's rays shoot out of Merlin's fingers. Shrek, Puss, and Donkey disappear into a puff of smoke. Whoa, it worked. Shrek the third, final screening script 79. They reappear and fall out of the sky and bounce through a canopy of a large apple tree. They ping-pong through the foliage and land in a heap at the base of a tree. Donkey adjusts himself, feeling hungover. Oh man, I haven't been on a trip like this since college. Donkey? Daddy, why did you eat my fries? I cried, but you still ate my fries. Daddy, do you even love me? 'Cause I wish you'd show it. What kind of daddy eats his fries? I really want to know. I really need you there. Why would you? Donkey, what is there? Something in my teeth? Donkey eyes widen. He realizes his voice is coming out of Puss's body. Oh, what the? Oh no. Donkey grabs Puss's hat. He looks down at Puss Boots. His tail begins to twitch. I've been abracadabraed into a fancy feeding second-rate sidekick. Puss falls from a tree next to Donkey and Puss's body. At least you don't look like some kind of bloated roadside pinata. You really should think about going on a diet. Yeah, and you should think about getting yourself a pair of pants. I feel all exposed and nasty. Both Shrek and Artie stare at them. A strained smile passed into their face. They burst out laughing. I have to pee. I'll be right back. Sorry I took so long. I broke my toilet. Okay, let's continue. Yeah, and you should think about getting yourself a pair of pants. I feel exposed. Donkey joins Puss. Them both scowling. Puss is fuming. Shrek and Artie regain their composure. I'm really sorry, guys. Don't be. You just got us back, kid. Ow, ow. How in the Hans Christian Andersen am I supposed to parade around this in goofy boots? Be very careful with those. Hee haw. Puss is shocked by this. He tries to recover. They were made in Madrid by the finest hee haw. Oh, you'll learn to control that. Shrek, Puss, and Artie rush past a welcome sign in the town that has been boarded over, so it now reads, "Go, go away." His tender new feet hurt in their tiny boots. Seriously, man, you need some comfort inserts and arch supports or something. Well, inside the kingdom, Rodeo Drive is trashed. There's graffiti everywhere. Suddenly, a carriage driven by evil witches comes zooming in from Rodeo Drive. Woohoo! The carriage zips around a corner on two wheels. A drunken evil dwarf is almost hit by the carriage while crossing the street. Shrek is shocked by what he sees. A crash is heard off screen. Hey, watch it. I'm walking here, and I'm going to keep going. A large explosion is heard off screen while Little Red Riding Hood pickpockets the evil dwarf. A carriage wheel rolls by a marionette theater with Pinocchio dancing in it. Pinocchio, check the third final screening. Shrek and the rest rush over as the curtain starts going down on Pinocchio. He presses his puppet hands against the glass. Pinocchio, help me. What happened? Charming and the villains have taken over everything. They attacked us, but Fiona, and now the princess got away, and now the time has run out. The cheesy music stops and the curtain goes down. She's what? Shrek looks at the marionette theater and sees how much it costs per show. Puss, loan me $5. Come on, Puss. You heard the man. Help a brother out. Donkey removes his boot. He turns. Oh my gosh. I had no idea, really, I swear. Shrek quickly dumps the change into the machine. The music starts and the curtain goes up against Pinocchio dances. Quick, Pinocchio, where's Fiona? Charming's got her locked away in some place secret. Wait, Pinocchio, what show? Pinocchio's hand comes down out of the curtain and points towards the poster on the wall. It's a happily ever after all. Shrek Finals performance. The picture shows Charming, sword raised in the air with his foot pinning Shrek, tongue sticking out of his mouth to the ground. Well, Shrek, you didn't tell me you were in a play. Well, I guess I've been so busy I forgot to mention it. It's the ogre, get him. Shrek turns and sees a large group of charming royal knights. Armed and ready, they drive them back into the alley. Don't worry, Jiffy, I got this. He whips his head toward the oncoming guards. His eyes are large and sweet. His lips pout. The guard are momentarily hypnotized by his cuteness, until they realize they're staring at a donkey. Kill it. Artie glances at the theater posing on the wall and steps forward, confronting the guards. Look, don't you know he thinks he is? How dare you? Shrek picks out on his pain. Donkey, we're dealing with amateurs. The guards are confused. Artie tears the poster off the wall. Shrek glances at Artie, who steps forward, yanking the poster off the wall. He's a star, people. Hello? I'm so sorry about this, Mr. Shrek. I'm going to lose it. I assume you have everything ready for tonight. You did get the list for the dressing room. Shrek, the third final screening, script 85. Yeah, the breakfast croissants stuffed with seared sashimi tuna. Oh, and please, may you at least have the scriffon corn with the jalapeno honey butter, because your client cannot keep his proper emotional state with his jalapeno honey butter. I just lost it. Maybe they should talk to Nancy in the human resources. Shrek pushes the guard aside and continues toward the castle. Oh, well, I have much to say to Nancy, I promise. The guards look at each other nervously. A group of enchanted trees work on through their dance number. Two dwarfs on bungee cords helplessly swing back and forth in the rear of the stage. The camera lands on Prince Charming, reading his lines next to a Shrek stand-in. The sword, I do know. He starts the line over with his sword. I do smote thee. Check the third final screening, 86. Without looking, Prince Charming stabs the stand-in, who falls on the ground. Is that the right word? Smote? Smoot? Is that even a word, actually? Maybe I should just smite him. Unseen stage hands drag the stand-in away. Let's try this again, now. Stage hands shove another stand-in on the stage beside Prince Charming. Shrek attacks me. I pretend to be afraid. Oh. Prince Charming does a quick mime of being afraid and chuckles. I say, finally, the kingdom will get the happy ever after they deserve. Die, ogre, blah, blah, blah. Without looking, he stands in front of Shrek. He falls to the ground. Prince Charming, still frustrated. Oh, it just doesn't feel real enough yet. He throws the sword on the ground and turns toward the dancing villains who are staring at him. Who told you to stop dancing? Wink and turn. Wink and turn. He throws the script on the ground and notices the stand-in. What are you laying around for? Get up, honestly. Prince Charming storms into colossal gold-leafed dressing room. It walls covered with posters of inspirational sayings and portraits of Prince Charming in different acting roles. Slamming the door, he plops down his throne chair in front of a dressing table and the large three-way mirror. A statuette of his mother is on the vanity. It looks at it intently. Our happily ever after is nearly complete, Mommy. And I assure you, the people of this kingdom will pay for dearly every second we've had to wait. Charming adjusts the mirror, revealing a reflection of Shrek standing in the doorway. Already puts in donkey stand along with him. Stands up and faces Shrek. Break a leg, or, on second thought, let me break it for you. He walks across the room as Prince Charming backs against the dressing table. Prince Charming fumbles behind his back and pushes a button under the counter. Thank goodness you're here. I was beginning to think you might not make it back in time. Shrek picks him up in front of his shirt and scowls. Where's Fiona? Don't worry, she and the others are safe for now. Shrek strengthens his grip. Suddenly, a group of guards burst into the room. Quickly. Ow. Prince Charming smiles. Shrek looks around and realizes he's beat. He drops Charming with a thud. Prince Charming brushes himself off of the guard around Shrek. Prince Charming walks over to Artie. A smile grows across his face. Let me guess. Arthur? Artie looks indignant. He raises himself up. It's Artie, actually. The boy's supposed to be the new king of Far, Far Away. Laughing, Prince Charming draws his sword and holds it up to Arthur's neck. How pathetic. Now stand still so I won't make a mess. Shrek steps in. Charming, stop. I'm here now. You got what you wanted. This isn't about him. Artie's confused. Then who's it about? I'm supposed to be the king, right? Shrek hesitates and then gathers himself. You weren't really next in line for the throne, okay? I was. But you said the king asked for me personally. Not exactly. What's that supposed to mean? Shrek becomes defensive. Look, I said whatever I had to say, alright? I wasn't right for the job. I just need some fool to replace me. And you fit the balls, so just go. Artie's stunned. You were playing me the whole time. Shrek fights back tears as he punishes Artie more. You catch on real fast, kid. Maybe you're not as big of a loser as I thought. Puss is about to interject with Donkey. Covers his mouth with signals to stay quiet. You know, for a minute there, I actually thought you... What? That he cared about you? He's an ogre. What did you expect? Prince Charming signals the guards to release Artie. You really do have a way with children, Shrek. Prince Charming smiles at the ground, leading Shrek off. Shrek is led by the guards down the hallway. The scene cross-dissolves to Artie's back as he walks away from the castle. He gives one last look at it and angrily storms away. Shrek's ankles or wrists are shackled. Shrek pulls on his chains. He sadly looks at the cell window. The scene cross-dissolves to another prison window. Fiona comes to the window. She stares sorrowfully at the castle in the distance. All of the princesses, the queen and Fiona, are locked up in the same prison cell. Cinderella is frantically scrubbing a spot on the floor and shine. Fiona looks at the cell window towards the castle in the distance. Behind her, Snow White paces around, complaining. Had we just put like I suggested, we could be sipping tea out of a little heart-shaped cups. Yeah, heart-shaped cups, eating crumpets smothered it with loganberries. Yeah, loganberries. Shut up, Cindy. Yeah, shut up. Cinderella looks down at her reflection in the door. No, you shut up. Just stay out of this. Who cares who's running the kingdom anyway? I care. Fiona steps forward and challenges them. And you should all care too. Suddenly, the cell door flies open. Donkey and Puss are tossed in as doors slam behind them. Hey, yeah. Can I have your badge number? Puss and Donkey's body hissed and arches it back like a cat. Donkey, Princess, Puss. Lo siento, Princesita, but I am a puss. I don't know what I'm doing. Stuck back in this hideous body. And I'm me. I know. Everything's as a little fruity in the Fruit Loops, but what happened is when we went to high school, the boat crashed and we got bippity-boppity booped by a magic man. You poor sweet things. I don't get it. The cat turned into a little horse and smells like feet. What's to get? Huh? Who dat? Shrek. Where's Shrek? Charming's got him, princess, and he plans on killing Shrek tonight in front of the whole kingdom. It's out of breath. Alright, everyone, we need to find out a way now. Princess is not in agreement. You're right, ladies, assume the position. Sleeping Beauty falls asleep, standing up. Snow White quickly assumes her position by laying down and puckering her lips. Cinderella dusts off a spot, sits down and crosses her legs. What are you doing? Waiting to be rescued. You've got to be kidding me. Well, what do you expect us to do? We're just 3 super hot princesses, 2 circus freaks, and an old pregnant ogre, and an old lady. The queen smiles and then casually walks by the princesses. Excuse me, old lady coming through. She walks right up to the brick wall with a deep breath and yells out, Hi-ya. She headbutts a hole right through the brick wall. Fiona and the princesses are impressed. Whoa. Mom? Well, you didn't actually think you were going to have fighting skills from your father, did you? Fiona beams at her mother and then turns to the princesses. Snow White points to another wall behind them. Excuse me, I think there's still one more. The queen hurries to the other wall. Hi-ya! It crumbles, revealing the outside. The princesses wince. Fiona approaches her mother. The queen turns around, this time a little woozy, swinging softly at herself. Why don't you just lay down? The queen continues to sing to herself as she walks away. Okay, girls, from here on out, we're going to take care of business ourselves. Snow thinks for a moment and then glances at the other princesses. They nod. Snow looks determined. She rips off a sleeve, revealing a dopey tattoo. Check the third. Final script, 95. Sleeping Beauty tears the bottom of her dress. The queen puts lipstick smudges under her eyes. Cinderella sharpens the heel of her glass slipper. Doris burns her bra. The princesses place their hands over Fiona's. Puss and Donkey hands come in at last. Captain Hook replaces his hook appendage with a baton and taps it on front of him. Ladies and gentlemen, the Far Far Away Theater at the Charming Pavilion is proud to present It's All a Happy Ever After All. The camera pulls back from a playbill that reads, It's a Happily Ever After All, starring Prince Charming as himself. Two intimidating evil knights are handing out the playbills and are using spares to usher people into their seats. Enjoy your evening of theatrical whatever, citizen. Oi. No food or beverages in the theater. Hey, the orchestra begins to warm up. And the camera follows Rumpelstiltskin as he hurries from the stage to the background. Shrek stands atop a wooden platform like a beaten man. Cyclops is binding his arms and legs with heavy chains attached to the floor. He pulls the chain tight. Ow, easy. Sorry, I guess I was just showing off for a little one. Huh? It's bring your kids to work day. Come here, beautiful. Cyclops motions to the shadows. Cyclops' daughter walks out of the shadows. She looks like Cyclops with long hair and skirt. Shrek recoils. Well, she's got your eye. Cyclops picks her up and embraces her. Who would have thought a monster like me would deserve something as special as you? They touch foreheads affectionately. Shrek looks at the two of them and then gets a determined look on his face. The camera booms down and trees just outside of the castle. Fiona and Princess appear behind a log. Two evil trees guard the castle gate. Fiona uses a duck call to signal Snow White. She skips down the path to an entrance where two evil trees are standing guard. Snow White storms in front of them, singing out a version of Animal Friends with a smile. The birds answer in her song. The birds answer again. Little birdies take wing. Flitting, I'm getting lightheaded. Flitting down the trees they appear, stripping my ear. All the forest creatures follow to her. All because I sing. More forest creatures flock to Snow White. The evil tree stares in amazement. Suddenly, Snow White's face changes. She transitions into Led Zeppelin's Immigrant Song. Oh my gosh. All the animals turn and attack the trees. Fiona and the princesses charge forward. Move it, go, go, go. Check the three. Donkey and Puss run through the front gates of the Far Far Away Zoo. The donkeys are held captive in the zoo. Donkey busts open their cage. My babies. The donkey fly over to Puss and hug him. Help, ow, hey. The princesses run toward the castle. Oh my gosh! As they enter the castle grounds, a group of guards runs towards them. Cinderella takes out a couple of them with her boomerang crystal slipper. Sleeping Beauty falls to the ground. Asleep, the guards trip over her body. Dolores runs out to the foot of the canopy and takes a knee. The princesses use Doris as a stunt to lead onto the canopy or the castle wall. Donkey and Puss and each other's reconnect during the theater. Gingerbread Man is locked inside of a bakery display case. Donkey and Puss arrive. Donkey awkwardly tries to cut the glass open with his claws, but quickly bashing the hoof. Gingerbread Man to his case. Fiona leads the princesses and queen as they stealthily creep along the rooftop. Fiona peers around the corner and sees two guards blocking their path. She gets an idea. The guards turn around to find a leg sticking out. They ooh and ah and approach the leg. The camera pans to reveal Doris. Hey, how's it going? She kicks the guards to the ground and they take off running. Donkey, Puss, and the rescued fairy tale creatures run toward the castle. Donkey and Puss peek out from behind a bush. Oh, to the K, the coast is cleared. Donkey turns the address to the fairy tales behind him. Hurry, people, let's do this thing. Go Team Dynamite. As I recall, it was Team Awesome. I voted for Team Alpha Wolf Squadron. Alright. From henceforth, we are known as the Team Alpha Super Awesome Cool Dynamite Wolf Squadron. The three pigs notice something. Act 2 Lieber. There is some strange little girl over there staring at us. Donkey and Puss Body turns to look. Artie's staring at the strange crew. Artie? Artie turns and walks away. Puss in Boots Donkey runs to stop him. Wait. Hey, where is the fire, senor? Oh, please don't act so innocent. You both knew what was going on the whole time, and you kept it to yourself. Artie starts to storm away. Artie, it's not like it seems. Mic check, mic check. Cool. It's not, I think it seems pretty clear. He was using me. That's all there is to it. Artie starts to walk off. Using you, man, you really don't get it. Shrek only said those things to protect you. This stops Artie in his tracks. Charming is going to kill you, Artie. Shrek saved your life. Artie realizes the truth and then suddenly concerned for his friend. The lights dim, the curtains rise. Rumpelstiltskin's order for the spotlight. Cue the spot. A spotlight comes on as Rapunzel singing in the tower while the fairy tale villains play their roles below. I wait alone up here. I'm trapped another day, locked up here. Please set me free. My life, all I almost see. A castle, you and me. Yes, a castle, you and me. Audience members look at each other in confusion. Is this crap for real? Brawl. The makeup artist cries in the audience. From the audience, a knight holds up a candle. Up in the rafters, Rumpelstiltskin cues the cherubs. The cherubs are lowered onto the stage by a rope and pulley string. Tis I, upon a regal steed. Princess, my love, at last you shall be freed. The cherubs drop a rope puzzle onto Prince Charming and then clamshell. Prince Charming is on a steed, jump out the clamshell. Prince Charming begins to make his way over to the tower. Through blistering desert, Prince Charming chops off the head of the flying griffin puppet. Hot. Prince Charming dismounts, casually chops off the head of a sea serpent and crosses the sea. Across the stormy sea, wet. He makes his way to dry land. He weaves in and out of the evil trees who are playing the part of the forest, facing creatures so vile. Foul. He casually cuts off the head of a wooden cutout reindeer and shoves a villain in a bear costume out of the way. So you can glaze upon me. Prince Charming has made his way onto the stairs above Rapunzel's tower. And I knew you'd come for me, and now we finally meet. I knew you'd wait, and from my plate of love you'd eat. There's a loud flash and a loud growling is piped through the sound system, and the flares go off as a trap door opens on the stage floor. Prince Charming hams it up for the audience, putting his hand on over his ears. Rumpelstiltskin cues Mabel. Mabel's growling through a megaphone backstage. Roar, roar. 3 evil witches turn a lever, and an evil dwarf blows up a steam with a billow. A large, imposing shadow grows on stage. The silhouette fades, revealing a shackled Shrek on stage. He pulls at his chains as he notes the audience and views the spectacle before him. The crowd of fans with Shrek written on their stomachs cheer. One of the fans is hit with an arrow, then promptly set down. Who is this terribly ugly friend who is so rudely interpreted? Only almost 2 hours? Are you serious? Oh, please rescue me from this monstrosity. Prince Charming takes a dramatic pause and sings in the ultra-high voice of Cassandra. Fear thee not, honey lamb. I will slice this thing up like ham. Oh boy. Prince Charming relishes this moment. Pulling out his sword and aiming at Shrek's chest, Prince Charming's voice climbs even higher. You are about to enter a world of pain, which you are familiar. He holds up this last night high note. Shrek winces. Goblet's eye glances. A glass tiara and glass pearls all break the audience. Prince Charming smiles. Shrek looks at him with contempt. Well, it still can't be any more painful than the lousy performance you're giving. The audience laughs at Shrek's remark. Prince Charming is thrown by their reaction. From a trap door underneath the stage, Rumpelstiltskin tries to help Prince Charming out by feeding him in his next line. Prepare, foul beast. He clears his throat and tries to get back into character. Prepare, foul beast, your time is done. Oh, if you don't mind, could you kill me and then sing? The audience laughs. Prince Charming gets in Shrek's face. Be quiet. Oh, come on, I'm just having fun with you. That's actually a very nice leotard, thank you. Do they come in men's sizes? The audience laughs again. Hee hee, how that would be funny. The crowd laughs again. Shrek smiles, enjoying how he's screwing up the show. Prince Charming's furious. The crowd falls silent. Prince Charming turns back to Shrek. Now, you'll finally know what it's like to have everything you've worked for, everything that's precious to you taken away. Prince Charming raises his sword. Now you know how I felt. Suddenly a fireball hits the blade, melting it. Another huge fireball spreads across the dragon, flies through the theater. The Dronkeys follow behind her. The three pigs come running down the aisle. Sausage roll. The three pigs leap onto the stage, going into a drop. Pinocchio comes flying into the strings, landing with a flurry of kung fu hands. The wolf unzips the wolf costume, steps out and joins the others. Gingerbread Man pops out in the tower window, grabs Rapunzel's hair and swings down. Before he hits the ground, the end catches. He bounces into a bungee jumper. Her hair falls into a pile next to the very surprised Gingerbread Man. Prince Charming looks around, almost surrounded. Suddenly, a shadow falls over the crowd and they gasp. Dragon and the donkey flies into the land on the stage. Puss and Donkey leap off her back to the stage. Pray for mercy from Puss. He claps his hooves on the stage, and Donkey. He carves the letter D from Pinocchio's bottom. Hey. The queen headbutts through one of the backdrops. The Sleeping Beauty and Dora, Snow White flies and beyond with the help of her woodland creatures. Cinderella runs on stage equipped with a mop as her weapon. Together, the princesses strike fierce poses and stand next to Shrek. The audience applauds. Suddenly, the front door of the swarm house crashes to the floor, revealing Fiona. Hi, honey. Sorry we're late. You okay? Much better now that you're here. Aw. The audience applauds. Shrek turns to Prince Charming, raising his shackled wrists. So, Charming, you only out of these so we can settle this ogre man? Prince Charming considers this for a second. Oh, that sounds fun, but I have a better idea. Prince Charming strikes an imperial pose and claps his hands. Cyclops suddenly emerges from the trapdoor, knocking Puss and Donkey down. He approaches them menacingly. The witches flies in and threatens the princesses with their brooms. The evil queen rises up behind the queen and puts a knife to her throat. The evil dwarves grab the three pigs. Gingerbread Man is suddenly surrounded by evil knights. He poops out a gumball. Dragon starts to move forward, only to find herself surrounded by crossbows. A bunch of pirates grab Fiona and to tie her up. Fiona, Shrek the Third. Now let go of me. Shrek struggles to free himself from the chains, but it's no use. Prince Charming, eyes narrow. You will not ruin things for this time, ogre. Kill it. Prince Charming signals the other villains to attack Shrek. As the villains towards Shrek, the spotlight shines into their eyes, stopping them in their tracks. Everybody stop. Oh, what is that now? Artie? Artie jumps from the spotlight. Artie lands clumsily on a hanging cloud. He leaps awkwardly from the clouded cloud. The audience stares in awe. Another one less leap. He swings down. Chirps cable, sending the little person up in the air. Artie lands on the stage in between the villains and Shrek. He stands facing the villains. Who really thinks that we're going to settle things this way? The evil knights think about it and raise their hands. The other villains follow suit. You're telling me you just want to be villains your whole lives? This gives the villains pause. But we are villains. It's the only thing we know. Didn't you ever wish you could be something else? Villains aren't convinced. Well, it's easy for you to say. You're not some evil enchanted tree. You morons, don't listen to him. Another evil tree covers Prince Charming's mouth and then motions to Artie. What Steve's trying to say here is that it's hard to come to be honest work when the whole world's against you. Right, thanks, Ed. Okay, fair enough. You're right. I'm not talking tree. But you know, a good friend of mine once told me that just because people treat you like a villain or an ogre, Artie starts looking at Shrek, or some loser. The fairy tale villains listen intently. It doesn't mean you are one. The tree tightens his grip as Prince Charming struggles to break free. The thing that matters most of all is when you think of yourself. Artie commands the stage. Artie points at Rumpelstiltskin directly in front of him. Well, Rumpelstiltskin is alarmed. Me? Get him, lads. No. What I mean is, each of you standing in your own way. Oh. The headless horseman breaks through the cloud. I've always wanted to play the flute. The fairy tale villains and creatures look at each other. The evil queen steps up. I've always wanted to open a spa in France. The villains nod in agreement. I grow daffodils. Complete silence as everyone stares at Hook, and they're beautiful. Captain Hook looks truthfully at his sword, and then throws it down. The pirates throw theirs down, followed by the witches and evil knights. The evil knight holding Pinocchio is thinking about him when Pinocchio reaches over and takes the axe from the weapon pile up in the middle of the stage. Everyone else cheers and starts to mingle, introducing themselves and shaking hands. Gingerbread Man high-fives an evil knight. Fiona is united. Mabel walks up to Doris and tightly punches her on the jaw. Doris returns to the sign of affection by punching Mabel in the ground jaw. But it's a bit too hard, sending her falling to the ground. Suddenly, Prince Charming kicks himself free of the evil tree and charges them. He grabs a sword from the discard pile and raises it up. He aims at Artie. Ah! Despite his fear, Artie faces Prince Charming bravely. As Prince Charming charges, Shrek finds the strength to break his chains. Just before Prince Charming strikes, a chain whips into frame, wrapping around the sword. Shrek pulls Prince Charming around in the circle, away from Artie. Furious, he charges Shrek and stabs him with the sword. Charming lets go, and Shrek stumbles back with the weapon impaled in him, and falls to the floor, groaning. No! Prince Charming beams and laughs. He turns to the audience. A new era finally begins. The audience cowers. Shrek looks up, smiling, and nods at Fiona and Artie. Now, all of you, bow before your king. Shrek casually rises up behind him and clears his throat. Charming turns around. Shrek lifts up his arm, revealing that he was never really stabbed. You know, you need to work on your aim. Charming's stunned. This was supposed to be happily ever after. Prince Charming is paralyzed. Shrek drops the sword and grabs him by the shirt front, lifting him off his feet. He winces, but is still defiant. Well, I guess you need to keep looking. Shrek looks at Fiona, and his friends smile, because I'm not giving up mine. Shrek sets Prince Charming down and signals Dragon. She casually tips over with the tail. A shadow falls over Prince Charming. He turns and sees the tower falling on him, his body perfectly framed up in the princess's window. Mommy? It crashes down, and he's trapped inside. As the dust clears, the crowd rolls across the stage. Artie stops it with his foot and slowly gets up. Well, he just died. It's yours if you want it. Artie considers it. He looks at Shrek, who is smiling proudly at him. Artie turns into the audience and holds him up to the crowd. Then they cheer him. Artie places the crowd on his head. The crowd goes nuts, and the audience roars with joy. Artie, 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 Artie. Everybody cheers as the fairy tale creatures and villains put Artie up on their shoulders and carry him off. Donkey and Puss still in each other's body watch as Artie gets carried away. In a puff of smoke, Merlin suddenly appears. He looks around confused, clutching his... excuse me, that's my seat. Suddenly, he is thrown back against him in front of the stage as Donkey and Puss confront him. Okay, senor, it's perfectly wrong. Although I have been enjoying these please say you done it. Alright, look. Merlin rubs his hand together. You're gonna feel a little pinch and possibly some lower intestinal discomfort, but this should do the trick. Merlin rolls up his sleeves and prepares to make him with the magic. He lets loose with a bright burst of magic. It takes a long moment for Donkey and Puss to recover. They eye each other cautiously. Are you? Donkey lifts his hoof and inspects it carefully. I'm me again. Shrek the Third, final script, script 18. Puss checks out his own paws. I am not you. Donkey and Puss give each other a big hug. Alright. The two of them turn and walk away together. Merlin is right behind them, smoking figures and all. Suddenly, his eyes are grown wide. Oops. Never mind. We see that Donkey still has Puss's tail in Puss and Donkey. Merlin slips away. Shrek and Fiona watch Artie in the distance. What'd I tell you? I think the kid's going to be a great king. Well, for what it's worth, you would have to. Shrek smiles and touches Fiona's belly. I have something much more important in mind. He then punches Fiona's belly and makes the first abortion known to man. They kiss. The camera pulls back to see everybody celebrating around Shrek and Fiona as they kiss. A wide shot of the sunny morning in the swamp. Shrek grabs a gourd bottle and creates an ogre shake out of slug juice, eyeballs, and worms. He walks over to join Fiona by the fire. Finally, Shrek and Fiona on the gourd bottle, and she places a nipple on it. Two ogre babies crawl up on Fiona's lap. Da-da. The third ogre baby appears at Shrek's feet. He bends over to pick him up. One big happy family of 5. Shrek laughs, and the babies and Fiona hug. The front door opens to reveal Puss and Donkey. Hey, I smell Shrek Jr. The donkeys come swarming in behind Donkey. Dragon peers through the window. Shrek, with a safety pin in his mouth, is doing his best to changing diapers. He twists the diaper around, and the baby goes flying off the screen and lands in a diaper that Fiona is holding. She smiles at Shrek. The swamp house is overrun with donkeys, ogre babies, and dirty diapers. Puss sits next to the ogre baby that has a pacifier in his mouth. He takes the pacifier out of his mouth, shoves it into Puss's mouth, and gives Puss a big hug. Another baby comes sprawling into frame and starts to tug on Puss's tail. A tug of war issues. Ogre babies are bathing in a pot of water. One of the babies farts in the water, and Shrek comes in and scoops them up. Shrek laughs. Donkey is playing peekaboo with his ears. Baby ogre laughs. Peekaboo, peekaboo. A baby ogre pulls earwax from Shrek's ear. The baby uses the wax to draw squiggly lines into a piece of paper. Bouncy, bouncy, bouncy boy. The queen is bouncing a baby ogre on her lap. The baby pukes as the queen smiles. There is a knock at the door. Donkey is laying on the floor, holding a bottle with the 4 hooves. Drinking the milk, Shrek grabs the bottle of Donkey's mouth. Hey. Shrek opens the front door to reveal the dwarf. Where's the baby? Shrek puts a bottle in the dwarf's mouth and slams the door. Fiona slides one of the babies down in a slip and slide made of mud from geysers. Shrek slides down himself. The babies scramble out of it every way. Shrek slides by, spraying mud everywhere. Shrek and Fiona are diapering 2 of the babies in perfect unison. They continue diapering. Fiona holds up the 3rd baby, and Shrek holds up an unhappily diapered puss. Shrek, the 3rd, final screaming out. Shrek grabs a guard bottle off the shelf. He tosses it to Fiona. I'm so tired. Fiona stands holding one baby over her shoulder. She catches the guard, throwing to her, twirls it around, lifts up her leg where another baby is perched on her foot, and puts the guard, and I can't speak English because I've been doing this for so long. Shrek is burping a baby over her shoulder. The baby burps. Fiona has a baby over her shoulder, and the baby burps. A donkey sitting on his chair of a flame belch, and an ogre baby crawling by farts, which cause a flamethrower effect in the fireplace. Shrek and Fiona tuck all the babies into bed. Well, what shall we do now? Shrek and Fiona are sound asleep, snoring. A baby starts to cry. I got it. The camera tucks out. Oh my gosh, I'm done. I don't know how much more of these I can do. This physically hurts my body. But please subscribe because I need money and I'm poor.